Okay, so let's talk about layering then.
Yeah.
So do you want to give us specific layering questions, or shall I just give some kind of combos?
I think we should just give it, because if I look at the questions that are coming through, they're all following the same kind of theme. They're all coming around, you know, specific room, kind of like a cold room, medium kind of temperature room.
Yep.
Like, can I use
This with
the,
this.
our fleece,
Yep.
both the onesie and the jammies, under a sleeping bag? Is that okay? And also, what kind of room temperatures? Like, could it be paired with the duvet weight? I know when we first talked about it, that would be a
We
really
thought it would be
cozy.
too warm,
Yeah,
but
too
then-
warm.
So let's start with so for my Eddie, who's 10, and he's not a really cold sleeper. His room, all my kids weirdly sleep with their bedroom doors shut, and so we put the heat pump on downstairs where their bedrooms are, and they're like, why are we doing this? We're just heating up the lounge downstairs, and their rooms are all cold. So his room is, but it's, you know, double glazed and all that, so that would probably be, if I was to guess, I'd say probably about 18, and it might get down to 16 maybe. So he's worn the fleece jammies and the onesie a few times. It's still not really cold enough at our house, but he's trying valiantly because he loves it. So, and then he's used this with a duvet over the top.
Yeah.
And he swears that is very delicious. But he's 10, and so if he gets too hot, he'll just take off his top, and I'll go down and find him stark naked when I, like, you know, lift the duvet. And if the night is cooler, he'll have this on and the duvet. So that's for not a freezing room, and for an older child, they can moderate their temperature. So for older kids, you certainly won't need like singlets unless you're like down in, you know, I'm trying to think what's the coldest part of New Zealand. Probably down Queenstown or somewhere in a strong wind, you know, out on the coast somewhere. But for older kids, generally this and their normal bedding will be totally fine, because they'll just kick off their bedding. Or for a lot of kids around that kind of 4 or 5 year old, they're often, their bedding's falling off and they're clueless, but this will be enough to keep most kids warm even without their bedding.
So Ayla, my daughter, is 4, and she will just kind of stick her leg out. So she's going down in the mini ones at the moment. And then duvet, and so she has a 400-gram sleep store duvet, and so she'll just like pull her leg up and like stick it out
if it's hot.
if she gets a bit hot. But she also loves the covers being up really high. That's just the way she sleeps. So it's quite strange. She'll have like head under the, you know, legs sticking out. But as you do, but she's regulating her own temperature, so that's fine.
So that's for kind of four and upwards. Just you know, use this. You'll need less bedding. You'll need less heating, but do remember that recommended bedroom temperature range is 16 to 20 degrees, with around 18 being optimum. But we know New Zealand houses are often freezing, and you know, you would be spending thousands of dollars over winter to heat it to 18. So just add, you know, if you need to, you can put a woolly singlet under it, or
or some socks. Pop some socks.
Socks is really, particularly for kids that kick off the bedding, or that feel the cold. Adding socks is often as warming as adding another layer to the body. That would be, for me, if I'm cold at night, socks would always be the first thing that I would add.
And I think it's great for peace of mind in those cold mornings for the older kids as well, you know, when they get up and they've got their warms on. They can
particularly if you don't use bath robes, because robes are a bit of a hazard. They dangle in the breakfast, and they, you know, they can be flammable. Or one of my older ones, my 15-year-old. Oh my God. He gets up, has a shower, and then he'll like put his robe on, and then he'll be sitting there half an hour before he's due at school, and we'll be like, get out of your robe and put your school uniform on. He just loves it. Funny. Okay, so then when we get into say like a